What was that?
I mean, I'm not
I
going to
trust
repeat
it.
it. Yeah,
I trust it.
I'm not going to do that again.
Well, never say never.
No,
What's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Damn, it's Wednesday already?
Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
I don't know.
Damn, we've been in a vortex.
I thought it was Monday.
Yeah.
It's not.
I knew it was a day that ended in Y, but wasn't 100% sure.
That's a good guess.
All right, we're on episode 19. This is the $0 to $1 million in 90-day live stream where we're on a mission to build a brand new offer from scratch. We're building this airplane as we're flying it and getting to $1 million by day 90, and it's day 30 today. Actually, it's day 31 today. Yesterday was day 30. So we're exactly 1/3 of the way through this mission that we have. And, dude, I still can't believe how much has happened in 30 days.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I mean, we're not at our goal. We're even, on pace to our goal. We're slightly behind. Overall, I'm
just learning a lot.
Yeah.
Extremely fast.
Either learn or earn.
Launching a new offer is like all the things that I'm used to somebody else doing who's better than me. Now I have to do.
That's right.
So
you got to be the best at it.
Yeah, well, that, and you can't pull your, current team that's running the historical business side or department or arm off of anything to primarily put them onto a new offer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to build it yourself, which I'm used to doing, just not in certain areas. And honestly, it's been good.
Yeah. What are you learning the most, or what are you enjoying the most?
Just marketing.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah. I mean, how to test ads, how to properly do it, like actually put it into a process that can scale up to a few $100,000 in ad spend, and then funnels, different tests for them, how to test them, realizing nothing works, then realizing everything's working, then realizing nothing works again, and then everything's working again. So it's just, it's interesting. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, just sales you can kind of get away with. Like some people go a really long time with no real numbers in sales.
Yeah.
Like just look at our clients. Like,
yeah,
what you doing? I'm doing $500,000. What do you track? Don't track.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that's interesting. But with marketing, if you don't know your numbers, you're cooked. You're cooked. Yeah. It's done. You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, last night we stayed up till probably 1 a.m. just going through every step of every funnel we have, every ad.
Manually calculating the ROAS because ClickFunnels wasn't giving us the...
Yeah, I mean, everything was messed up.
Yeah.
To the point where we had to go in and reconfigure a bunch of stuff just to get the proper data coming out. But also sometimes when you're just launching and you're going really fast and certain things are working, you kind of come back to them later when you're ready to scale it. Yeah. So that doesn't mean that everything needs to be perfect on launch, but yeah, we did our kind of recalibration yesterday, which now we have real metrics that we can rely on across the board, which is, yeah.
It is an interesting rhythm, though, to like just reflect on the last 30 days. I mean, we're pretty much sprinting at least something at any given moment, but we're not sprinting something fully for like 30 days straight. It's kind of like we're taking a breath in, then a breath out, breath in, breath out. To your point, we're kind of like recalibrating, stabilizing, all right, let's take a look at, the mess that we made, but also let's see where we're at. I've noticed that just that rhythm of always be sprinting something, but there's different parts of the business that...
I mean, the way I've looked at it is like, we'll spend 2 or 3 days hyper fixated on product, then 2 or 3 days hyper fixated on onboarding and client journey, and then we'll spend 3 or 4 days hyper fixated on sales, and then 3 or 4 days hyper fixated on marketing. And it's just this kind of like 2 to 3 day cycle per every, like there's probably 2 or 3 cycles a week.
Yeah. How do you think that's been working overall?
I mean, it's the only way to do it if you're going to do things right. I mean, most people don't ever actually successfully launch because they just don't do what they need to do in all areas. So they just get, I mean, they're really good at one thing and they never actually figure out the rest.
Yeah.
So I think the only way to do it, or they just hire a bunch of fucking people and then they're like, well, why isn't my sales team working? Or why isn't my marketing working? Or why isn't this working? It's because you have no idea what works or how to direct somebody or even how to hold anybody accountable to results.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm realizing is like, I mean, obviously I've launched plenty of companies before, but this specifically, we've done fucking 600 times with other people's businesses.
Yeah.
So now doing it ourselves is for this specific business type or this model. Yeah, I mean, we're fucking good at it. That's for damn sure. It's just there's a lot of nuance that I'm getting some color on. Yeah, it's just making me better. I mean, giving me more skill sets, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because typically I would want to just hire this stuff out, which I completely disagree with at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. I think both you and I have, we're a little bit control freaks in some ways. And
all good business owners are.
Yeah. I think it's important to know what's happening and keep your finger on the pulse. And best way to do that at the beginning, at least, is to fully own it before delegating it out. How do you think it's been over the last 30 days? You and I have spent a lot of time together, which we've been working together for over a year now, but we've been primarily virtual.
Dude, if you can get in person, get in person.
Yeah.
I don't see like, okay, virtual, cool. It's nice, but fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to build something significant, figure out a way to get together with whoever you're building stuff with.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of teams in office and I've done teams outside, like fully remote. In office teams scale 10 times faster, especially in the early stages than remote. And I'm not saying there's outliers and there's use cases and there's certain people that are just amazing with remote stuff, but like generally speaking, having people together in the same office where you can go stick your head out of the door and yell to whoever you need, or go sit down with somebody and figure something out immediately, or know that everybody's working a full 6 out of 8 hours each day instead of people working 2 hours a day. Like, it's the benefit of like the accountability and then the environment and then also just the proximity and having everybody just dial the fuck in. Also, there's a lot of people that you probably wouldn't work with if you had to be in office with them. Like, if you had to be in office with everybody that you work with, who you're remote with right now, would you keep them on your team?
Interesting.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't.
That's a really good point.
So, I don't know. I just see a lot of benefits. I mean, to be honest, and I hope no one's watching this from our team, but
if Harrison's watching for sure.
Yeah. Harrison's probably watching.
He's on vacation, but he's watching.
He's still watching. No, I to be honest, like if we could pull everybody in office and do that tomorrow, we would scale 1 billion times faster overnight.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I mean, we would have no comparison to what we've been able, and we do a lot. Like, we go really fast.
Yeah.
But there would be a hell of a lot less mistakes. There would be a lot higher success rates over, average result, high result, right? I think marketing would be a lot faster. Our testing would be a lot faster. Our initiatives would get completed faster. People would get trained faster. I mean, there's no, I don't see any real like non-benefit to doing that, except for the fact that people have to wake up on time and drive their asses to a fucking office.
Yeah.
Which, sorry,
Or in our case, walk.
I mean, that's one thing I've thought about though, is just like anybody that's on a certain level within the team, like,
subsidize their rent or
subsidizing
like
rent if you live in one of these 6 buildings, or, here's a blank bonus check for moving where we're going to take care of the movers and you just live in this vicinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, if everybody could just come in here and we even got like the unit next to us and just figured out what we wanted. I mean, I don't know. I've thought about it for a long time, and it's definitely the way to go, especially with marketing, sales, fulfillment. Like,
well, there's such an important feedback loop between all three of those. And at the beginning, when we're building this shit out, like that feedback loop is vital.
Yeah, it needs to be tight.
And I think some of the challenges we've had is just a lack of a feedback loop to actually see like, all right, what's happening here?
Well, to be honest, for me, it's just, it takes longer to tell somebody to do something and then explain to them what I need done and then review that thing that they were supposed to do well and then give critiques and feedback. It's like, right now I'm moving so fast. It's like, I don't want to go through that with you. Just keep doing what you're already doing. And I'm going to do that thing because I know I'm going to get it done in an hour. And if I give it to you, I'm going to explain it to you for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to have to review it for 45 minutes. And then you're going to bring it back to me with that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
it doesn't really make any sense when you're moving this fast. But in office, basically, hey, dude, let's sit down for 15, 20 minutes. Let's jam this out.
Yep.
I'll help you take it to 50%. You take it to the finish line.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to find a time. You don't have to look at calendar. You don't have to set a meeting.
Have a meeting to
That's
set
another
a meeting.
thing. That's another thing that I think is just annoying with the remote stuff. I get it, but it's just annoying is we need to accomplish something. We need to set a meeting. Okay, cool. How does tomorrow at 2 p.m. work? If you're in office, it's just like,
hey,
you got 15 minutes now?
Yeah. I got 5 minutes.
Perfect. We'll get this taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's just a different.
It is really efficient with that.
Dude, I hate the, oh, I'm doing this at this time or this, and then I got to go here, and then I got to go pick up my dog from the whatever, and then I got to go to the gym, and then it's like, when do you actually fucking work, dude? Like, when do you actually work throughout the day?
Where do you squeeze your work schedule into all that?
So, and that's not everybody, obviously. I'm just saying, like, it's like common, especially with remote teams, like, when can you do something? And it's like, I already have a bunch of irrelevant meetings on my calendar because people think I need to be there. And then, I've got space Wednesday for 15 minutes. It's like, I need to talk to you now. Can I not just call you?
Yeah.
Can you jump into my Zoom?
Well, I think Elon shares the same thesis.
Well, Elon's a smart man.
Yeah, he is. I trust in Elon.
The other, actually, Eddie does this, which I think is pretty freaking cool. So he runs a Discord, and all of his people have their office spaces open all day. And if they're in their office space, that means that they're on.
Like their office space in Discord?
In Discord.
Okay.
So it'd be like Aaron's office, Dean's office, Harrison's office, Austin's office, whatever. And if you're in there, anybody can pop in at any time, and your camera's on, and you're, there working. If you're on break, you go to the break room. So you move yourself out of your office into like a break room or a lunch room or whatever.
Dude, that's epic.
It's fucking cool. It's really cool.
Damn.
So their whole team is all operating out of Discord. And just like I would walk into your office, I can walk into your Discord office room, and you're in there live, whatever you're working on. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good setup.
That's actually really intelligent to.
Yeah, it would just, it's, Slack is, it would be a hard transition, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they still use Slack too. I mean, they just have these office rooms open.
And if they're on a meeting with a client or a sales call or whatever, they just have that going while they're in their office?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
That would be.
Just like check in, like, oh, you're on a sales call? All right, cool.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think they probably.
Yeah, maybe there's.
A button or something. I don't know. But whenever they're, in their office working.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. All right. Well, good stuff, dude. Happy day 31. We're 33% of the way through. Let's take a look at these numbers here.
Are we up?
Yeah, actually, we'll do it this way. All right. So day 30. So we had one closing call yesterday. 6 low ticket offer purchases. We just launched a new low ticket offer funnel, which is our the full funnel, which is our speed to lead system.
Shit was rough.
Have we gotten one sale from that?
Not from paid.
Okay. All right, so 0 from paid so far. We had an organic sale or 2 organic sales, right?
We had one guy who came through paid, opted in, tried to check out, payment failed twice, and then
that's right.
The organic side where it was just somebody I know.
All right, I'm really excited to see that the results of that.
I mean, it should do well. I mean, the value is
insane.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Actually, all of them, dude. Like our low ticket offers.
I mean, but this is like you're not going to find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it through HubSpot. Even if you work with partners, they typically don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to actually setting this up properly.
Yeah.
And in terms of just having something tracked that can drastically
it's a
scale.
Huge lever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's the value's there. I just don't know if it's going to be perceived that way in the beginning. Once we figure out kind of the positioning and stuff of it, I'm sure that'll change. But our click-through rate, our cost per click, our CP, I mean, every single metric on this specific campaign is beating every single other one that we have, minus our basically cost per acquisition for the low ticket.
Dude, we should get some testimonials of people that are using these low ticket offers and throw them on the page.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
No, just an idea. All right, we can keep rolling here. So number of shorts 3, number of subscribers 3. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was my grandma this time. So we lost 1 yesterday, but we got 3 one. We lost 1 on Monday, and got 3 yesterday. Is this our biggest views day? It looks like 4th biggest. Yeah, it looks like our biggest is 2635. So we got 2,452 views on our YouTube channel. Ad spend, we cranked it up with the launch of the new funnel. So we're at 716 and generated 18 leads, 45 outbound calls by Rockstar Julietta on our team, who does a little bit of everything. So not even a full-time setter, but she's rocking and rolling. We got 3 closing calls that were booked from our outbound efforts and the funnel. We completed 1 call, 0 offers made, 0 in the red zone. We did close 1 deal that we pitched last week. So in total, cash collected with our low ticket offers and the new deal that we just closed is $17,244. So over the last 30 days, we've generated $213,068 and $133,000 in cash.
We crossed our first mile marker.
Yep. Yeah.
250,000 total with the new offer. So we're at what, 266?
266.
1 more until price increase.
Yep.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, baby.
Like that.
So 19 out of 20 filled. Yeah. Crossed the first milestone. So we're a little over 20. We're probably 26.7% of the way to our goal. 33% of the way through the time.
Yeah, I think we had a spike in the very beginning when we first launched.
Yeah.
And then some dormancy with restructuring ads, funnels, sales process, figuring out scripting, you name it.
A lot of duct tape.
And then a big spike recently where we've kind of just started to hockey stick a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, 2 of the calls that came onto my calendar recently, like the one yesterday was from YouTube. And then I think one of them from Monday was also from YouTube. So we're starting to get some organic.
Interesting.
We don't even have pillar content going out yet.
Yeah.
So it's old videos, to be honest. I think maybe I think right now on the channel, we're probably crossing that like 600-700 hours of watch time. And then I don't know how many views, maybe somewhere sub 100,000, something like that.
Yeah. So let's take a look here.
Maybe go to like all time, maybe. I don't know if they have. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so 800 hours of watch time. Yeah.
Is that a legit threshold that YouTube, like 800 hours? Or are you just saying just like it's a...
I mean, 800 hours of watch time is a lot of watch time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for a small channel that's just starting.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, views. I mean, I think what's happening is we're just getting more activity, obviously. So the older videos are getting more traffic, maybe.
Yeah.
So like somebody watches a reel and then gets fed like one of the longer format, like actual videos, or, you know, we're also using some of the organic stuff inside of some of our emails, and you know what I mean? Like they're in our assets for the low ticket stuff. So I think, overall people are just starting to engage with our stuff a little more, which is feeding the algorithm maybe a bit more. So I don't know. It's definitely, there's been a considerable pickup in terms of just direct bookings and stuff through YouTube. And we don't even have CTAs properly set across the videos. Like people are just going to the website and booking. So it's, you know, there's probably a lot that we could do better there, but
it just kind of just brute force right now.
Trickle in.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are you focused on right now? We're midway through the week.
I'm going to finish fixing the funnels today. So booking page, I'm going to adjust some of the headline copy, make sure our pages are redirecting to the right pages so we can actually get reporting, you know, numbers.
And it'd be great to be able to update the ClickFunnels analytics and just have that reflect true opt-ins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If we could figure that out, that'd be nice.
I don't think we'll be able to get that just because we're using HubSpot forms, to be honest. I mean, there might be something we can do.
Way.
Maybe. We'll figure it out if there is. But yeah, I'm just focused on finishing out the funnel reports and then getting everything formatted properly, adjusting the copy that's just been kind of like generic and thrown on there to actual copy that's going to help people convert through the funnel. And then just I got to film a lot of creatives today.
I was going to ask you about that. So I know Mike, shout out to Mike.
Mr. Buen Tempo.
Yeah, Buen Tempo. Yeah, you beasted out yesterday on our masterclass call, but what was his thought on just creatives and a process to consistently pump those out?
So I mean, his strategy kind of goes on the line with what I heard out in Paris from everybody. Okay. It's like media buying isn't hard. It's running a process where you can consistently test new creative. So
yeah,
he's kind of in this like 80-20 budget. So 80% goes to winners. 20% is always going towards
experiments.
Yeah. So what he does is he has a meeting. I can't remember if he said once a week, twice a week or whatever with his team to go over the creative concepts and the variations that they've put together. And then he scores them. So I can't remember exactly. There was 3 variables that he scores each one on. One was like impact. So like, you know, how confident or
how relevant.
I think it was like confidence, like how confident are we? And then it was something like, I can't remember the word he used, but like how likely is this to happen? Because a lot of his people's ideas were like, you know, he used he used the example of like, yeah, they'll bring me ideas where it's like, yeah, you're gonna get slammed through a table from a WWE star. It's like, yeah, that's awesome, but we're never
0% likely.
We're never gonna film that. Yeah. So he scores them, and then they take the highest scores and they shoot those. Those get tested creative wise. And then he has a whole process of basically creating one creative concept with 4 variables. So if it's one new creative angle, then it'll be 4 variables, which is like, different first, different colors, different texts, different whatever, to see which variable works best. And then he takes his winners and throws them into the basically campaign. So I'll dupe them into the campaign that's running, I think CBO, maybe. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, basically he just has a conveyor belt of creatives going through the process, finding winners, and then moving into the scaled winners campaign. And yeah, I mean, based off what he was saying is, his whole philosophy is, an amazing media buyer with not enough creative is going to suck.
Yeah.
A super mediocre and average media buyer with really good creative and a lot of testing, they're going to do extremely well.
Yeah.
So, which I agree with, to be honest.
Yeah.
His whole thing was just like, look, 5 years ago, I was a million times better media buyer than I am today. But today I get 10 times better results because I'm just focused on the actual creative concept, testing, variable, funnel structure, copy. Like, that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on the media buying. The media buying is easy. It's just a process you rinse and repeat.
So in terms of like creating like new creatives, is it mashing up different content that they already have? Are they recording new content, different angles?
It's a lot of new.
Okay. Yeah. And is the messaging different, or is it just like the same essence of messaging, but maybe just a different?
I think it could be everything you just said.
Okay.
It could be content mashed up. It could be taking the hook from one and putting it on the body of another. It could be creating an entire new video. It could be, all of the above, to be honest. So he had like 3 different lead-ins, is what he called them, or leads, which leads are like the first portion of the videos. So like one is story-based, one is offer-based, one is, problem-based or something along those lines. So a story would be like, gave a keynote in Paris and I asked everybody blah, 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 and they raised their hands and nobody did X, right? And then offer-based would be like, you can get this for $47. It's going to drastically increase your lead to booking. Here's why.
Yeah.
And it's just direct. And then you have problem-based where it's like, you have a high volatility in your lead to booking. It's because your reps aren't getting to leads fast enough. And if you can't answer yes or no to that, you should probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just,
I like that.
Yeah, it's just testing a bunch of different stuff, different, backgrounds, selfie versus studio versus in the car versus this versus that. Yeah, and that's honestly, that's the same advice I've gotten from every single marketing person that's doing significant spend at scale with like a specific offer. Is it's just the creative variations. Like, you should be spending your time on that. But to do that, you need to make sure that you have tracking and metrics are properly set up. You know how to declare a winner. And then also you give a good formula. It was like, you're going to declare your winner out of all of your creative concepts. I think it was whatever your target cost per acquisition. So like right now, I think ours is like $1,500 on the baseline. So if we're going to test new creative concepts, we're going to spend basically, so if we have 5 or 6 new creatives that we're rolling out to test, we're going to spend 3 times the cost per acquisition.
Give enough of a budget to
correct
get
over 7 days or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. So we're going to spend $4,500 on all of those over 7 days to figure out which one's the best. So I don't know. To be honest, I think, the best marketers out there are just the ones that follow a consistent process.
Yeah.
And iterate super fast, but in the process.
Yeah.
It's not, whenever they feel like it. It's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just consistency across what they're doing.
Yeah.
Compared to back in the day, it was like media buying. It's
Right.
like, how do you target audience this, especially during COVID? COVID apparently costs for everything were just extremely easy and cheap,
and
it was just a gold rush.
Yeah.
And then everybody came out of COVID, and it was like a completely different game. So
interesting.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, so I mean, I need to focus more on the creative side, but we got to get reporting properly tracking.
Yep.
Which we have now, and we will have the funnel stuff by the end of the day. So that goes in, testing happens, and yeah, I've just learned other people's ways of doing it too. So how they're actually structuring the winners and figuring that out, and what kind of campaign ad set versus the ad structure they're actually using. So it's a lot of good stuff.
Damn. Yeah, that's some gold right there. And then I know he was talking a lot about like low ticket offer funnels.
Yeah.
Any insight there that really landed?
I mean, yeah, we're on the right track. I think overall, like the direct VSL funnels aren't working very well right now for pretty much anybody. I think that's pretty common in terms of what we've been hearing across the board. So the low ticket side, where you can liquidate ad spend, but you can also get a faster ROAS, and you can get actually more calls booked that show up at a higher percentage for cheaper. The economics just scale way better.
Yeah.
On a low ticket funnel, especially if you have a decent AOV, right? Like right now, we don't have bump orders. It's just buy this super freaking valuable thing and then go to the next page, and if it makes sense, book a call. You know what I mean? Where a lot of his funnels that he had really scaled up to multiple millions of dollars of spend per year, the AOV was really like the unlock, so they could keep spending without obviously completely killing the waterfall metrics that come behind that, so like calls booked, etc. But I don't know, there was a ton of shit in there. It was, for us, the low ticket side, like I just realized how little we were actually doing from like our intent on this page is to get them to do X, or like the copy on the page was super generic.
Right.
There was no
journey that we were bringing them through.
It was just, general, it's live, run it, so there was a million different things, to be honest. It was something I'll come back to quite a few times.
And then one thing that I'm trying to, I was just thinking about that. I don't know what the right answer is, but maybe maybe this. What is like the proper way to like keep like a split test diary?
A Google sheet.
Yeah.
Just how anytime you run so I've seen it a few different ways. I've seen it where you run all of your, obviously, tests, and you have a tab for creative, you have a tab for headline and copy, you have a tab for audience, right? And then you have your winners, and it's just a very simple left to right process. And then with Mike, it was similar. It was a Google sheet. I mean, it's a fucking Google sheet.
Yeah.
You just have to spend the time
keep the numbers up,
putting it in and tracking it.
Yeah.
And then you grab your winner, move it to the next page or next tab, and test it with headlines and copy. And then you test that with audience, and then you test that against all of your winners, So
is there a way to run split tests like that inside of HubSpot? Whether it be in the campaign tool or...
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, and be able to track
for sure
that?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it in HubSpot, to be honest.
Why?
I'd rather put it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's historical. It's easy. You could track all of these numbers in HubSpot, but at the same time, like I'd rather track the winners, like the winning campaigns in HubSpot, and have whoever's responsible for marketing, like actually doing the manual tracking. Otherwise, they're not going to look at it the way that they need to, I mean, it's similar with any number or metric that you want to pay attention to. Like if you automate it fully initially,
Yeah.
If I was sitting down with you and I said, all right, what's our cost per lead? I don't know. But if you had updated it this morning,
right,
you
keeps
would
you
have
really
been able
aware.
you would have been able to tell me, right?
Excellent point.
Yeah. So.
All right, sweet. Well, what else is on your mind?
I mean, the lead journey stuff from yesterday I looked into, and I've actually got a call with one of the guided clients today where lead journey is going to be it's still in beta, but it's going to be a big thing for them.
Yeah.
He sent me a voice message this morning about wanting to get a call center involved and some new sales reps coming in, and they've got some new initiatives, like all these different things. And I was like, all right, well, if lead journey is set up to just drop the leads into the specific buckets for the specific teams that are being worked, so layer 2 drop off goes to the call center, layer 1 stays within the team. Layer 0, the primary cadence, is obviously internal, right? But like starting to set up the journeys to distribute leads based on where the leads actually end up.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Huh.
I also, with like the AI stuff that we're testing, I think, to be honest, the AI should be triggering on based on them seeing a specific page, like clicking into the asset and seeing the training page. That triggers on our AI. Like segmenting it a little bit more so it's not just immediate.
A general thing.
Yeah, immediate blast. But there's a bunch of limitations with lead journey still. So there's not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, you could flip a property and then you could have that property trigger a workflow. So it's like you're going to have to do some workarounds with it. But the ability to almost create workflows in a pipeline, like they have it set up, where it's literally like primary flow 1, flow 2, flow 3, flow 4, like left to right. I just think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. And then I'm trying to think what else. I think the AI stuff in general is there's certain parts in the process that you just have to leverage AI or you're just going to not be able to keep up with everybody else.
Yeah.
Like I think with the drop-off points, I think if leads enter the first hour and they make it out of that first hour during working hours with no one contacting them, immediately trigger the AI so you can get to people while you're still in their head, instead of trying to stay in front of them and then hit them up 2 days from now or whatever. I just think there's a ton of stuff. I think one thing that we need to do with like immediately with this specific arm of the business is all of the sales calls need to be graded and scored through an agent, like immediately, because that's going to make it really easy for us to replicate the sales conversations.
You're talking about all the calls that are scheduled?
Yeah. Like, I mean, anytime a transcript hits and it's a specific event type, it immediately goes in.
Looks for certain criteria. Yeah.
Very easy.
Is it like fit score and alignment with the offer and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, how aware were they of sales momentum? Did you hit the talk track in terms of in order?
Yep.
Did you spend too much time consulting versus asking questions? Blah, 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 blah. Was there an offer made? Just something to kind of augment the, I would say like collection of all that information.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of different stuff that we can do right now, but, I mean, with the low ticket funnel and only people getting offered to book a call on basically the last step of the funnel, we need some serious firepower on the front end.
100%. You're talking about for all the opt-ins that don't see that calendar page.
You got a billion of them.
A billion.
They're everywhere. So, I mean, honestly, my focus right now is getting a higher conversion rate through the funnel, and then getting the ads to perform better, because our like CTR is pretty low comparatively. And then, I mean, metrics all look good. So there's a million things that we could be doing. It's just kind of picking out the right ones. And I think the right ones right now are the copy on the funnels, the actual tracking. And then again, just better testing on the funnel, to be honest. I mean,
I do think that's the right thing to focus on. And I'm focused on, once that lead comes in, how do we maximize the amount of bookings that we get through AI and some of the things that we're developing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think over the next 30 days, if we can nail that, we're going to be in a totally different, I mean, we could double or triple.
So the baseline funnel, this is the last, like, I don't know how many days, 15 days, I think, 20 days. Opt-in rate off of unique views is 18.5%. Our opt-in to purchase rate on the low ticket offer is 27%. Average order value, $23. Low ticket to call booked, 28%. Close rate on calls booked, 20%. Liquidation right around 24%. Cost per low ticket sale, $90. Cost per high ticket sale, $1,700. Cost per lead, $25. Cost per booked call, $350. And our ROAS is right above a 5x. So it's really, really decent numbers with virtually no effort put in on the funnel. Like,
yeah,
you know, like,
it basically just slapped together.
We thought, this is good, roll it out. And there hasn't been any focus on it. So even with the small stuff that we did last night, even with the speed of lead, we spent $600, no opt-ins. We made 3 changes. We've spent $50, and now we already have 4 or 5 opt-ins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All we did was change the headline on the page. We took the VSL video, and instead of we went into Vitalytics and looked at where people were dropping off and where people were watching more. Just basically cut out that entire first portion, started it immediately where people were engaging with the video the most, sped it up. Instead of doing regular speed, we sped it up by 1.25x.
Yep.
Right? And that's all we did. And now we're getting opt-ins. You know what I mean?
Dude.
So it's, I think like that's where our biggest leverage is going to be. And then as soon as we have like a little bit higher, tick rates and all of these metrics for the funnels, I mean, even if our opt-in percentage went from 18 to 25, that even if nothing else changed, the purchase, the AOV, the lead to book, like all of that stuff stayed exactly the same, the volume would go way up.
Oh yeah.
So I think getting the funnel metrics to work a little bit better, just because it's such low-hanging fruit. Like we haven't put any effort in there at all. So we're going to be able to influence those numbers, I think, pretty drastically. And then we go heavy into like the actual ad creative, because all of the funnel testing, I mean, we can get new stuff set up for the next 10 days or 7 days or 5 days or whatever in a few hours. Then it's all about just pumping new creative and testing headlines, copy, audiences, etc. So that we don't fatigue our ads. I think if we do both of those things over the next 2-3 days, the metrics are gonna flip on their heads pretty drastically. And Launchpad, like our liquidation is 50%. Our cost per low ticket sale is $100. Our cost per high ticket sale is extremely high.
A lot more.
Yeah. But our cost per lead is the same price. Our cost per booking is lower. Our ROAS is lower. But we're still, positive.
Yeah, and honestly, like all it takes is a couple more sales to.
Well, we have a lot in the red zone too. I mean,
yeah.
This is just, like I said, I think the last 10, 15 days. So the spend to deal cycle looks like it's about 10-ish days on the high ticket side. So we'll know
I
more.
like that.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's
It's definitely not bad.
way better than the other side of the business.
Yeah. Well, the other side of the business is just referrals and organic and
Yeah.
events and keynotes and, obviously paid works, but the offer that was being matched with paid didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, if we ran that same funnel and same ads and all of that stuff now, I think it would work. I think it would work extremely well, actually.
Yeah.
So going back to a direct VSL, similar to how we had it set up last time, I think would work now because the offer's much better for what people are looking for.
Yeah. And it's much more simple.
It's more simple, faster time to value, better results for most of these companies that are coming to us.
Yeah.
Because they're actually having to learn what we're doing. So I think it would work. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're doing a lot of the right stuff. It's just because, like we talked about in the beginning, because we're tested, like we're doing so many different things, we're not focusing on one thing very long. Mm-hmm. So there's just a lot of improvement that can be made.
Yeah. Well, I think we're sprinting on the right things right now, which is super exciting, dude.
Yeah.
And I love that you're digging into what you're digging into because it's been very insightful over the last few days.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's end it there and close out our day 31 live stream. And yeah, thanks for being along with the journey. Zach, what's up, dude? You got a question here. Are you charging finance fees on payment plans? No, we're not. As of right now, we're not.
Depends on price, to be honest. Like if when we were doing done for you stuff, if it was like a large deal, like contract value, then we would just take everything through ACH. So there were no fees. Because I mean, you got to think if it's, $50,000 and they pay with a credit card. And then even if it is 5 payments of 10 grand or whatever the case may be, you're as a business losing basically like $1,500 to processing fees.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So it depends on price, to be honest. Right now with the new program, honestly, I think most people opt in to pay with ACH anyways.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, that's just like the move that we ended up making like 6 months ago. And I mean, once in a while,
I mean, taking ACH issues, honestly saves us probably close to 50, 60, 70, I mean, probably more. Yeah. Tens of thousands of dollars a year gets saved just by primarily transacting through ACH. But then there's a lot of people that want to use their credit card. So, to be honest, right now, it doesn't really affect us too much, but we should look at that because that would be easy money to get back. Yeah. I mean, the one thing that we have done in the past is do like a paid in full discount, which is like the normal price. And then if there's payment plans or whatever, it'd be a higher total price. So that's at least how we positioned it. But, that's one way of kind of building in some padding for the finance fees. So, yeah, Zach, appreciate you being here, brother. All right. Well, with that, let's close it out. You guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for day 32. New music.
Oh, yeah, we will have new music tomorrow.
Can't listen to the same. Dun, dun,
yeah, maybe that's probably going to be our rhythm. Just every 30 days, we're just going to switch
flip the
it up
music.
a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Peace.